I started a small account with $50 to see how far I can push this. Every Discord server that you join will have the small account challenge tab on them. In this experiment, we're gonna see if it's really possible to grow your account starting from a small portfolio and see how far we can take it without blowing it up. The brokerage which I'm using is Robinhood and the type of the account is cash. We're going to manage the risk as much as possible and take selective trades. A week into this challenge, this is where I am. This challenge will not only put my skills to test, but also teaches me a lot about trade selection. Been trading with large accounts for a while. It teaches me to change the strategy completely because the first few trades, the main goal is to not blow the account completely up, as the risk on the first few trades will be insanely high. We will go over my journey on how it goes, and I believe it can be a learning opportunity for you as well. Let's jump right into it. For this week, we started with $42. As I said, the main goal is to keep the risks to minimum and cut the losses immediately if things didn't work out. Since it's mostly options for the first few trades, we are not going to take way out of the money options. Instead, we are going to look for stocks where the premiums are cheap. For this week, on Tuesday, I traded PM 102 calls. The main reason I took this trade is PM broke above $100 and closed above $100 on Friday, which is a big psychological resistance levels where it got rejected multiple times. When we opened above it, I took the trade at the test of $100. So as long as it stays above $100, there was a high probability that PM runs a test to 102. I spent $42 to enter the trade. As you can see, PM touched 102, but I sold it for $60 when it hit 101.40, so from $42 the account went from $67. And that's done for the day. That's the only trade I took on Tuesday. So as the market opened on Wednesday, I had my eyes on IWM puts, because the market gapped down on Wednesday and IWM opened below $200. The thing with the indices like SPY, QQQ and IWM is they offer 0-day expiration options, especially on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. For this challenge, the premiums will be cheaper comparatively in these types of indices. So I took the risk on IWM with stop losses at breaking above $200. The goal of this trade is to enter the shorts with the stops at 200 and take profits at 196 or on its way to 196. So I took the 198 puts and I spent $59, which expires on the same day. The thing with 0-day expiration options is you gotta be quick, because any small bounces will completely ruin the premiums in the options. So I got into 198 puts when IWM got rejected at $199, and I rode it all the way when it reached 198 and when these premiums went in the money. And by the end of the day, the account closed at $72, and when it hit 72, and I closed the trade and I moved on with the day. As I said before, the first few trades are gonna be very risky because you're putting in like 60 to 70 to 80% of your portfolio into one single contract. And of course you have your stop losses on, but it is still extremely risky. I don't want to hold on to it for much longer, especially with a contract which expires by the end of the day. So at the end of Wednesday, the account was at $81. So Thursday, the trade I took was at AMD puts. Took the trade at the open. It was a scalp trade for AMD to run a test to the lows of Wednesday. I entered the 96 puts at the open for $73. Closed the trade at $90. When AMD tested the lows of Wednesday, it just held it as support and took right off. If I had traded this in my larger accounts, the plan would have been something like this. Enter the shorts in the morning, scale out at the lows of Wednesday, and exit the position completely at $94. But I'm not trading with the larger accounts. Scaling in and scaling out is almost impossible because you don't have enough funds to play around with. So I took my profits when AMD ran a test to the lows of Wednesday and I called it a day. I closed the day at $98. Friday was a down day. I made a mistake picking the option strike with less liquidity with lift. Bid to ask was too wide. Though the setup on numbers worked, couldn't buy and sell the premiums at the price I wanted it to. Premiums didn't update the way I wanted it to, it didn't move the way I wanted it to. I got the 16.50 calls and the 17 calls. Since it expires in another 2 hours, didn't want to get stuck with Theta DK and lose the entire money whatever I invested in it. Took a $14 loss because of the liquidity issues and stupid strike selections. Well, it happens. But at the end of the day, the risk has been managed, and by the end of the week, the portfolio was up 39%. So market was gracious enough to let us continue the challenge for another week. I added $200 to this account on Wednesday. So from coming Monday, this account will be there at $284.24. So I'll be having some room to trade with and select trades on SPY and QQQ that is not way out of the money. Now with the $284 account, the mindset is going to be completely different when compared to that of the $80 account. So we need to change the strategy accordingly. If you guys want the update as soon as the entry and exit happens and want to join me on this experiment, go ahead, check out the Discord and Patreon. Multiple people with multiple small accounts are trying out the same in there to improve their risk management and trade selection process. Go ahead and check it out. Before I end this video, I want to tell you one thing. Being wrong in a trade is never a bad thing. It happens. As a trader, profits and losses are two sides of the same coin. So if you lose in a trade, don't beat yourself up. And if you make profits, don't gas yourself too much either. It's a part of the process. As long as you learn something from it, that's all it matters. Manage the risk, you'll be fine. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take high probability trades, manage the risk wisely. I'll see you guys in the next one.